March 15, 1942, 10:30 a.m., Kriegsmarine Headquarters, Lorient, occupied France. Gray sky, rough sea, cutting Atlantic wind. Admiral Karl Dönitz, commander of the U-boat force, examines the morning reports with barely concealed satisfaction. On his oak desk, maps of the Atlantic are marked with small red pins, each representing a sunken Allied merchant ship. There are hundreds. Herr Admiral, his aide-de-camp, Kapitänleutnant Günther Hessler, delivers the latest report. March is proving to be our best month yet. 95 ships sunk so far, 500,000 tons. Dönitz lights his captured Cuban cigar. The smoke curls upward as he mentally calculates. At what rate are the Americans building new ships, Hessler? Intelligence reports one ship every 230 days per yard, Herr Admiral. They have perhaps 20 operational yards. Dönitz laughs, a dry, confident laugh. 230 days. My wolves sink a ship every 8 hours. It's simple math. For every ship they build, we sink 10. England will starve before Christmas. He stands up and walks to the window overlooking the harbor where U-boats are being refueled. You know what Churchill said, Hessler? That the only thing that really scared him was U-boats. He was right to be scared. Across the Atlantic, at that very moment, a balding 60-year-old man wearing wire-rimmed glasses and an ill-fitting suit stands in an empty field in Richmond, California. His name is Henry John Kaiser. He's never built a ship in his life. He's never even worked in a shipyard. Mr. Kaiser, says the naval engineer beside him, do you understand that building a ship is not like building a dam? It requires skilled craftsmen, years of experience. Kaiser removes his glasses, wipes them with his tie. How many rivets does a Liberty ship have? Approximately 250,000, sir. And how long does it take to set each rivet? With a good team, maybe 3 minutes per rivet, but 3 minutes. Kaiser makes quick mental calculations. 750,000 minutes, 12,500 hours. With 100 men working simultaneously, 125 hours, 5 days. Mr. Kaiser, you can't just... Why not? Kaiser interrupts. It's just steel. Steel doesn't know if it's becoming a ship or a bridge. I built the Hoover Dam in 2 years, when they said it would take 7. I built the Grand Coulee when they said it was impossible. Ships? Ships are just bridges that float. What Dönitz didn't know, laughing in his French headquarters, was that in that empty field in California, a road builder with no naval experience was about to break every rule of shipbuilding. Within 18 months, the Kaiser would turn Dönitz's mathematical equation into his death sentence. Oakland, California, January 1941. Makeshift office of the Kaiser Shipbuilding Company. A converted shed that still smells of fertilizer. Henry Kaiser should never have been there. The son of poor German immigrants, he dropped out of school at 13. He started selling photography equipment door to door. By the time he was 60, he had built roads in Cuba, dams in the Pacific, bridges over impossible canyons. But ships? Ships were the province of the East Coast naval aristocracy. Bath Iron Works, Newport News, New York shipbuilding. Mr. Kaiser, Clay Bedford, president of the Kaiser Company, holds up a telegram. Washington has rejected our proposal. They say we have no experience in shipbuilding. Kaiser takes the telegram, reads it, crumples it up. Then let's get some experience. Buy the plans for a Liberty ship. Buy? Sir, these plans are... Everything has a price, Bedford, everything. For $750,000, a fortune in 1941, Kaiser obtains the plans for the EC2SC1, the standard Liberty ship design, 441 feet long, 57 feet wide, 1,445 tons displaced. An 1879 British design, obsolete before it was even built. Slow, 11 knots, ugly, Churchill called them ugly ducklings, and complex, 250,000 rivets, 30,000 different parts. Kaiser spreads the plans out on a ping-pong table. What do I see here? Todd Houston, a naval engineer on loan from Bechtel Corporation, replies, "A standard cargo ship, sir, traditional construction, keel, bows, plating." "No," Kaiser interrupts, "I see waste. Why build from the ground up when we can build in sections and join them? Why rivet when we can weld? Why train craftsmen for years when we can train workers for a specific task in days?" Houston is horrified. "Mr. Kaiser, shipbuilding is an ancient art. Every ship is unique. It requires master carpenters, boilermakers with decades of experience. How many master carpenters does America have? Maybe 5,000 qualified for shipbuilding. And how many ships does Roosevelt want? 2,000 in the next 2 years. So your millennial art has already failed. We need production, not art. Kaiser hires anyone who can hold a tool. Oklahoma farmers fleeing the Dust Bowl, housewives, teenagers, black people from the South, something unthinkable in traditional segregated shipyards. Let's do with ships what Ford did with cars, Kaiser announces to his makeshift team. Assembly line, specialization, standardization. But the first tests are disastrous. March 1941, Richmond Shipyard No. 1. First modular construction test. Crack. The 200-ton bow section, hoisted by makeshift cranes, splits in half. Twisted metal rains down. 3 workers are dead, 17 injured. Maritime Commission Inspector Captain William Vickery is furious. Kaiser, you're a damned murderer. This isn't a dam. Ships have to float. They have to bend with the waves. The second test. They try welding instead of riveting. The hull cracks like an egg upon first pressurization. Water gushes out from poorly made welds. Mr. Kaiser, his own chief engineer, implores, welding on ships is experimental. The British tried and failed. We need trained riveters. How long does it take to train a riveter? 2 years for basic competence. We have 2 weeks. Find another way. Kaiser brings something unthinkable to shipyards. Women welders. In 1941, this is a scandal. Women can't weld, protests the union supervisor. They don't have the strength. Welding doesn't require strength, Kaiser replies. It requires a steady hand. My wife embroiders. It's the same thing, only with fire. No one imagined that this chaos, inexperienced workers, untested methods, a man who confused port with starboard, carried in its apparent disorganization the seed not only of victory, but of the complete reinvention of how humanity would build everything from then on. September 27, 1941, Richmond, California. Launch of the SS Patrick Henry, Kaiser's first Liberty ship. It's a public disaster. In front of dignitaries, the press, and Navy officials, the 14,000-ton ship slides down the ramp and stalls. It lies tilted, half in the water, half on land, like a beached whale. Roosevelt had said on the radio, "We will build ships, and still more ships." The San Francisco Chronicle headline the next day, Kaiser builds half a ship. Admiral Emory Land, head of the Maritime Commission, is furious. "Kaiser, you have embarrassed us. 244 days to build this?" In Germany, the news reaches the public through agents. Donitz laughs as he reads the report. The Americans have hired a road builder to build ships. It's like asking a butcher to perform surgery. But Kaiser is unfazed. During the public humiliation, he was watching, timing every mistake, every delay, every waste. October 1941, emergency meeting. "What went wrong?" Kaiser asks. "Everything," Bedford replies. "Chaotic construction sequence, workers colliding with each other, materials in the wrong place." No. What really went wrong? Silence. We try to build like traditional shipyards do, from the bottom up, one piece at a time. It's like building a house starting from the basement, when you could build the walls in the factory and just put them together. Kaiser draws frantically on a blackboard. "Look, we've divided the ship into sections. Bow, stern, center section 1, 2, 3. Each section built simultaneously, not in sequence, in parallel. But, sir, how do you ensure the sections fit together? Absolute standardization. Every weld, every rivet, every part, identical, interchangeable. This has never been done on ships. Then we will be the first." November 24, 1941. Richmond Shipyard, Number 1. Launch of the SS Robert E. Peary. 4 days, 15 hours, and 29 minutes from Kiel, laying to launch. It's 3 a.m. Under floodlights that turn night into day, 6,000 workers move like a coordinated anthill. There's no confusion now. Each person knows exactly where to be, what to do, and when to do it. Jenny Morrison, 19, a housewife turned welder, works in Section 5. She doesn't know how to build a ship, but she knows how to make one perfect weld, the same weld, 500 times a day, perfect every time. It's like music, she would say later, the tsk-tsk of the bow, always the same rhythm. At hoist 21, Big Joe Washington, a black longshoreman from Louisiana, operates the crane that moves 200-ton sections like toys. He doesn't understand naval engineering, but he understands lifting and positioning. That's what he does, perfectly, quickly. Kaiser revolutionizes everything before traditional construction. Kiel established weight, build caves, weight, add plating weight, install machinery. 230 days total after Kaiser method. Day 1. 5 teams build 5 sections simultaneously. Day 2. Sections are joined while other teams install machinery. Day 3. Superstructure, prefabricated, is added. Day 4. Finishing and launching. The Peary slips into the water at 3:29 p.m. on the 24th. From first steel cut to ship afloat, 4 days, 15 hours, and 29 minutes. The Maritime Commission doesn't believe it. They send inspectors. It's a publicity stunt, they report. It must have been pre-built. But it wasn't a trick. It was a revolution. Captain Vickery, the same one who called Kaiser a murderer, now stares open-mouthed. How? Simple, Kaiser replies. I stopped thinking like a shipbuilder and started thinking like a builder. A ship is just a floating structure. The same rules apply: prefabrication, specialization, repetition. March 1942, Lorient. German intelligence report reaches Dönitz's desk. Impossible, Dönitz mutters. Check source. The report says Kaiser shipyards now launch a ship every 10 days. It must be propaganda, Hessler suggests, or defective ships that will sink on their own. But in April, confirmation comes through neutral agents. Kaiser launches ship every 8 days, fully functional. May, 1 ship every 6 days. June, a ship every 5 days. Mein Gott, Dönitz whispers. At what rate are we sinking? 1 every 14 hours, Herr Admiral, our best pace. And they build 1 every 5 days. With how many shipyards? Kaiser now has 7 operational shipyards. The math is relentless. 7 shipyards producing 1 ship every 5 days. She had 1.4 ships per day. U-boats sink 1.7 ships per day. The margin is disappearing. July 1942, Kaiser's miracle month. 30 ships launched in 31 days, 1 per day, each fully functional, sailing weeks later. Captain Lieutenant Peter Kramer, commander of U-333, reports, "It's we Anthill. We sank 3 freighters yesterday. Today, we sighted 5 new ones, all freshly painted. How do they multiply?" Terror grows when U-boats begin reporting something disturbing. Identical ships, exactly identical. Sunk SS John Randolph at 1400, reports U-507. At 1800, sighted another John Randolph, or twin, or ghost. It wasn't a phantasm. It was mass production, applied to ships. Kaiser now produced Liberty ships like Ford produced Model Ts, identically, incessantly, relentlessly. September 1942. Dönitz calls an emergency meeting. "Gentlemen, we face an unprecedented situation. The Americans are building ships faster than we can sink them." "Impossible," protests Kapitän zur See Karl Friedrich Merton. "No nation has such a capacity." "The numbers don't lie," Dönitz responds somberly. He shows a graph. Ships sunk per month. 95 ships built, Kaiser only. 42 ships built, all U.S. 175. We are losing the tonnage war. Desperation leads to desperate tactics. U-boats now specifically target Kaiser's ships, believing them to be structurally weak. But they discover the opposite. Kaiser's welded ships, counterintuitively, are more resilient. Continuous welds distribute stress better than point rivets. Many Liberty ships survive torpedoes that would sink traditional ships. January 1943, Washington, D.C. War Production Board meeting. Donald Nelson, head of war production, makes an extraordinary statement. "Gentlemen, Henry Kaiser didn't just change shipbuilding. He redefined industrial production. What Kaiser proved, old paradigm. Craftsmanship requires craftsmen, quality requires experience, complexity requires specialists, tradition guarantees excellence. Kaiser's paradigma, complex work, can be atomized into simple tasks. Quality comes from repetition, not experience. Simplification trumps specialization. Innovation destroys tradition." Admiral Land, once skeptical, now admits. Kaiser proved that modern warfare is not about how many specialists you have, but how fast you can train newcomers. Not about perfection, but about good enough, deliver now. But there is a deeper philosophical dimension. Dr. Robert Oppenheimer, visiting Kaiser shipyards, observes, "This is democratization of skill. Kaiser took power from the craftsmen's guilds and gave it to the common people. A housewife who had never seen the sea now builds ships that cross oceans." Stalin, receiving Liberty ships through Lend-Lease, comments to Molotov, "The Americans have found a secret more powerful than the atomic bomb. how to make the common worker produce like a specialist. Even Hitler, in a private meeting, admits, the Kaiser represents a greater danger than 1,000 bombers. He has proved that the ignorant masses can, through organization, equal the technical elite. It is industrial Marxism. April 30th, 1945, Dönitz bunker, Plön, Germany. The war is over. Dönitz, now Führer for a week after Hitler's suicide, examines final reports. It's grim reading. Commissioned U-boats, 162 U-boats lost, 784 fatality rate, 75%, the highest of any German service Liberty ships built, 2,710 by Kaiser alone, 747 lost to U-boats, 245 replacement rate, 11 built for every one lost. Herr Gross-Admiral, his aide asks, when did we know we had lost? Dönitz contemplates. When that American civilian, that Kaiser, launched the ship in 4 days. At that moment I knew we were fighting not against a nation, but against an idea. The idea that production can be democratized, that quantity has its own quality. May 8, 1945. Richmond, California, Henry Kaiser, now 63, watches the last Liberty ship of the war slide into the water. SS Benjamin Warner. Construction time, 4 days, 6 hours. Routine now. A reporter asks, Mr. Kaiser, what is your secret? Kaiser removes his glasses, cleans them, as he always did. Secret? There's no secret. I just asked, why does it take so long? And no one had a good answer. So we changed. But you had never built ships. Exactly. If I had, I would have known it was impossible to build in 4 days. Ignorance was my advantage. A traditional naval engineer nearby mutters bitterly, you destroyed centuries of tradition. No, Kaiser replies. I saved lives. Every day saved was one less day of sailors dying in the Atlantic. Tradition is a luxury that war cannot afford. Not. A modest plaque marks the revolution. Henry J. Kaiser and workers built 747 ships in 1,490 days. Average 1 ship every 2 days. Visitors pass quickly, more interested in glamorous warship models. They don't realize they're seeing a memorial to the greatest industrial revolution of the 20th century. A 95-year-old merchant Navy veteran stands with his grandson. Grandpa, how did one man build so many ships? He didn't build, son. He taught America to build. He taught that housewives could weld, that farmers could rivet, that anyone could do the impossible if you broke the impossible into possible pieces. They laughed when Kaiser said he would build ships in weeks, not months. Dönitz laughed when he heard that a road builder would challenge the Kriegsmarine. Traditional shipyards laughed at the idea of women welders and farmers riveting. They stopped laughing when Liberty ships started appearing faster than U-boats could sink them. They stopped breathing when the math reversed. From 10 ships sunk for every 1 built to 11 built for every 1 sunk. In the end, it was not the ships the Kaiser built that won the war. It was the idea he proved, that production does not belong to a few specialized people, but to many determined people. That complexity can be conquered by multiplied simplicity, that a civilian who had never seen the sea could defeat admirals who lived on it. The sound of 250,000 rivets being hammered simultaneously spoke its democratic truth. We don't need masters, we need many, and many organized. Always defeat few, no matter how masterful they are.